meeting to order. So now I need to read this. Thank you. Those attending tonight's meeting should be aware that the meeting is being audio and video recorded by APAC and ASRSD. Any audience members who wish to record any part of the meeting must inform the chairperson, who will announce the recording. This is to comply with the Massachusetts wiretap statute. The listing of matters here, the listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Per ASRSD School Committee Policy BEDH, public comment is not a discussion, debate, or dialogue between citizens and the school committee. It is a citizen's opportunity to express an opinion on issues of school committee business as posted on the meeting agenda. Citizens will have 3 minutes to express their views. All right, and my secretary is going too, yes.
If you could also try to use the microphone. Thank you.
So tonight, we're gonna start using this mic, so I will pass it along so that we can make sure that we're mindful of everyone in the room. I believe we need to do roll call, and I am missing my secretary.
You could just call for a vote, and we can just say here.
Okay.
I don't think,
So when we do,
we can just say here with our names, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right, so Chris Weavers.
Here.
Joyce Reshoots.
Here, Joyce Reshoots.
And Ashley Pinard. Here. Thank you. And Erica Span here. Bear with me, I'm writing notes. Okay. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to open up for public participation. Do we have anyone online? No? Do we have anyone here, present, that has any public participation? All right, so we're going to move on to the introduction of our new district administrators by Dr. Renda.
Well, thank you. We do have several new administrators to introduce, and actually we're going to have some other directors and principals introduce them. I will, though, start with Joe Ricci, our new food service director, who was unable to join us tonight. He is on an Alaskan cruise, I believe, which is sounds fantastic. But Joe has joined us as the new food service director, taking over for Tom Houle. Joe was not able, well, that was exactly what this said. He will join us in September at a school committee meeting to be introduced to the school committee. And so we will start with Tara Bozek, who will introduce our new Student Services Director.
Good evening. I would like to have Dr. Kristen Campione come up here with me. So, Dr. Campione, we are very excited to announce that she is our new Director of Student Services for the district. I want to briefly just touch on some of Kristen's past experiences. Kristen spent the last 12 years as Director of Student Services at the Quabbin Regional School District, a 5 rural district in the central of Massachusetts. Prior to that, she began her career at North Middlesex Regional as an early childhood special educator. She brings experience as a high school special education teacher, a team chair, department chair, administrative chair, and then assistant director of special education. She has her bachelor's degree from Northeastern University. Her master's degree is from Fitchburg State University. Her doctoral degree from Northeastern University, mentoring new special education directors through supplemental programs in Massachusetts. Other roles in state work, she's a mentor for new special education directors for DESE and the Accept Collaborative. She's the president-elect for the Massachusetts Administrator for Special Education Executive Board, DESE Commission member of SAS, which is the DESE Safe and Supportive Schools Commission. In her personal life, she has been married for 33 years. She's a proud parent of Alexandra, a mental health clinician at the Home for Little Wanderers, and Anthony, a Rentham firefighter, and grandmother to Dominic, Vincent, and Lainey, who are so adorable. Recently was able to fulfill a childhood dream of working with me, no, I'm just kidding, of traveling to Antarctica and surviving night camping out with penguins, which I was able to see pictures of, which was pretty exciting. And she is very excited to join our team, and we are so excited to have her join our team. Especially I'm so excited. So please.
Thank you so much.
Over to you.
No, it's great to be here. I'm excited. I think change is a good thing. And I have been at my first district for 10 years and then Quabbin for 12, so it was, time. And I had heard great things about Dr. Renda and my superintendent that I'd worked with both in North Middlesex as well as Quabbin was retiring. So I thought it was a good opportunity. I'm so glad that they chose me as the candidate, and I will do the best that I can for the children and the families here. Yeah.
I can't imagine thank you. I can't imagine the challenges of that job at Quabbin because it's so spread out, it's all so far apart. There's just so much complexity because of the distances and, the smaller populations coming together. How did that work? How did you make it work?
Well, two of the towns are small, and then there were two larger and one kind of medium. So we had to really protect the smaller towns, and our regional agreement was that for budget or things, we had to get 3 of the 5 towns. So we had to really sometimes work on that at town meeting. But, big geographic area made transportation challenging, and after school programs. So we did things like we would bring the clubs into the school during flex block so that students who couldn't get transportation could, still participate. Trying to think of some other things we did with our sports programs. Sometimes we did have to do a bus that went to the center of the towns, and it was something that the school committee supported because we wanted everyone to participate. So. Yeah. Just some of the things we did.
Thank you. I just look at that district and go.
I know. It's like a kingdom. And they're the largest choice in district in the state, other than virtuals. But, yeah. So, but anyways, I don't want to talk about Quabbin anymore. I want to talk about Air Shirley. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you. So I am looking forward to seeing the out-of-box thinking that you have, particularly when you're coming from a district that does have so many unique aspects. So I'm excited to see what you do, and especially powering up with Tara. I'm very excited to see the nuances and the changes that are coming, so welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Come see us anytime.
Okay, next we will have Principal Orrick introduce his new assistant principal.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Tanya Jarrett as Air Shirley Middle School's new assistant principal. Mrs. Jarrett is joining us from Fitchburg High School. She has served in education for 24 years, working at the middle school level for 18 years and 6 years at the high school level. During that time, she worked in a variety of positions such as special education teacher, English language arts teacher, reading interventionist, literacy coach, assistant principal, and interim principal. She holds degrees in special education, reading as a reading specialist, and educational leadership and management, all from Fitchburg State. Tanya brings a love of collaborating with teachers to provide high expectations and quality instruction for all students. I am excited to see her connect with our students in the coming weeks. Her sense of humor and focus on learning have made her a pleasure to work with already this summer, so that's been great. And I know that she's going to make a great addition to our team, and I'm looking forward to a really great year.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to a new school year. As Brian said, I am also very excited to meet the students. That's what it's all about. So summer can be a hard time coming in because it's very quiet and it's so different than interacting with kids on a day-to-day basis. So they're slowly trickling in a little bit. We've met a couple. Today I met the first female student and I said, I'm going to remember you, Lauren. You're the first female student that I met. Make sure you touch base with me. So I look forward in the next couple weeks for students to start filling our buildings because they're the reason why we're here. So, any questions for me?
I just want to say score. Erica Span, 2, Fitchburg, 0. But I am really excited, first, just your introduction, especially in middle school, because to be outgoing, we know that a lot of times kids tend to pull back during that phase because they're in survival mode. It's really great to have you aboard. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Okay, just me. I guess I had more energy tonight than anybody else. My teenager left yesterday, so it's good. So did you start in high school and then go to middle school? Or was it
I
the other
started
way?
in middle school, so actually my first year I started at Narragansett, which is where I graduated from, so that was a regional rural district. I was there for 1 year, and then the rest of my career was in Fitchburg. It was all middle school at first. The last 6 years I've been at the high school.
So now you can't stand high school kids anymore. So
I'm ready to go back to the little. Instead of looking up, I can now look down a little bit.
well, the development is just very different, so it's
Yeah.
interesting.
You either love it or you hate it, and I definitely love middle schoolers. They have lots of energy. They're very unique.
And they want to be there.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing. Thank you.
My name is Chris. I would just say, again, welcome, echoing everything that folks have said. If you want to meet your second middle school student, you've got my daughters next to you. She's here to be embarrassed. But again, welcome, and I think I would just, for all our new staff members, I think as a school committee, we do try to keep it as open a door as possible. I mean, I think our job is to make your jobs easier. So you're always welcome. Anything that you all need, I think we're an extension of that. So definitely reach out if there's anything that this group can do to make your jobs easier, because all your jobs are hard. I mean, I think middle school might be the hardest. But again, welcome to everyone.
Okay, and last but not least, we're going to have Principal Lewis introduce her new assistant principal.
All right, good evening, everybody. Good to see you. It's been a while. I am pleased to introduce Dr. Ryan Donaher as the new assistant principal of the Laura A. White Elementary School. Dr. Donaher holds a doctorate in educational leadership and policy studies from Wheelock College, Boston University, a master's degree in English and language arts, and a bachelor's degree in English from Boston University as well. With over a decade of experience in the education field since 2011, Dr. Donaher has held diverse teaching roles, predominantly in the middle school level. His most recent position was as an assistant principal in a K-8 public school in Lowell. The Laura A. White community is very eager to welcome Dr. Donaher and anticipates a collaborative effort in providing our students with an exceptional learning environment for their academic success. And when your license plate says teacher man on it, you know that he's invested in education.
Now they know what to Hi, it's a pleasure. I'm really excited to join the district. It's actually my third time applying, but I feel like I hit the lottery this time. It's been really great collaborating with Beth this summer and transitioning in. Assistant Principal Noel did a really fantastic job, really setting up a lot of systems and structures that I'm able to springboard on in the coming days as we meet our new friends and the current students of Laura White. My research as a doctoral student focused on building for DESE a manuscript and induction mentoring program for assistant principals in the Commonwealth. So I look forward to bringing some of that research and work to the district with a strong emphasis on supervision and evaluations to help really continue the great work of our educators with our young learners. So if I can be of assistance at all, please reach out, and I look forward to collaborating with you.
You came at the right time, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's not great to have rejection, but you definitely came at the right time.
It allows you to thrive,
Yes,
right?
yes, it does.
It doesn't kill us, makes us stronger.
Exactly, and not only that, but I think you'll find that there's more opportunity, particularly when it's your time. So I'm really excited to see all of you guys shine. I have a lot of excitement right now. Anybody else? No? We good? So thank you to all of you who are here. We're looking forward to seeing you all make your mark, even if it takes a little bit of time. But you're in the right place at the right time, and we're really excited to have all of you here.
One more.
Yeah, go
Yeah. I would just, for everyone, so for the hiring committee, whoever was involved, this is a tremendous group of educators. And it's really exciting to see. And I think for the new folks, Air Shirley, we're a smaller district. There's a lot of people who have been here for a long time, but you're all here for a reason. And I think, yes, like, learn from what's here, but we need you all to leave your mark. And so I think we're going to be better if you come into this with an understanding and appreciation that, like, we want your voices, your ideas to leave a mark on this district. We have a lot of things to build from in terms of strengths, but we have a lot of room to grow. So don't assume the way we're doing things is the way that it needs to be done. So I'm really thrilled for all of you to be here.
Madam Chair, if I could just add to that. You almost stole the words out of my mouth. It's fantastic. We did not hire entry-level administrators. We hired collaborators, right? So all three of our new administrators are going to be, and they already have, day one collaborating and help making things better. And we saw that at retreat, and I'm very happy to have all of them here. And Mrs. Jarrett wasn't even a poach. I wasn't even part of that until the final round of interviews. So it wasn't even a poach on my part, and that's on the record for anyone from Fitchburg who wants to see that. So we're excited that they're all here. It really wasn't. But I can tell you, there's a new superintendent, that there's 2 high school principals removed, right? So I think poaching season's open, to be honest. Not that we're going to do that with 2 weeks left. But we're very excited about the new leadership, and we're very happy to have 3 new collaborators to help make the district better. So welcome again, everyone.
Okay. Thank you all. So we're going to move on to the consent agenda. All of us have had time to review not only the warrants, they've been submitted into our folder, but also we have it here on the agenda, which has been posted at least 48 hours in advance, but I believe it might have been longer. So I am going to call for a vote on the consent agenda.
I would make a motion that we vote on the consent agenda as posted in the agenda.
Second.
Okay, great. All in, yes, do you have questions?
Yeah, because in the consent agenda, we have a number of donations, I think. Isn't that in the consent agenda?
It is, and we just changed the policy
Did we?
so that we didn't have to read the minutes.
No, I know we don't have to read all the accounts payable and more payable. We voted that in.
Right, we
But
also
when we
did the
have
same for
donations from
donations.
people, I think we should note them.
Thank you. Okay,
I mean, these are, people are doing this for, which does nothing but help us.
This is
And not to, just to gloss over it and say, oh, it's in the consent agenda. I don't think this is proper for the people who have done stuff to help our education. Some of these people have nothing to do with our school district, and they're doing it for the good of the world. So and
maybe
it's
as a
meaningful.
point of discussion, right, we're open for discussion.
Yep.
I would first, we should read off that there was a donation of $2,500 from Mark Goodrich for the Air Shirley High School baseball program to purchase tarps for home plate, the pitching mound, and bases if possible. And there was a donation of 100 pairs of unused safety goggles from the Neshoba Nursing Services in Shirley. They're going to be used in our science classrooms across the district.
Thank you.
Next time, if you would wait, you would know that we were going to vote it in, and then I was going to acknowledge it after. So what I wanted to do was acknowledge the fact that we've reviewed this, and then after that, identify the donations. So we can do that next time, because that's how I'm going to operate, and then we can utilize someone else's operation next time. I appreciate that. So can we, all in favor of voting in the consent agenda? Can you say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Those not in favor? And any abstentions? All righty. All right. Did you second? I apologize, I'm just trying to write quickly. Okay. Moving on to the next item, which is going to be our new business. We're going to get an update on the preschool licensure from Mrs. Bozak. I want to make sure I'm correct.
Hello again. This will be brief. We just wanted to let you know, I know I've only been here a little bit, but I have been able to meet with the preschool teachers, and I shared with them that there's a new licensure available. It's not, if you think about regulation and guidance, there's a difference there. The guidance is that they need a new certification. It's not mandated yet, but it looks like it's going in that direction. So we are seeing more and more students in preschool with significant needs, and our teachers are great and talented, but we're feeling the same way the Department of Ed is, that special education licensure and that training that comes with that is something that is going to be mandated in the future. So we got out ahead of it. We told them what was happening. We shared it with them. Some of them are a little apprehensive. They might have to take another teacher test, which can be very stressful. They may have to take more coursework, but they're aware, and we've put together a plan to support them. So you'll see, I just shared the memo that Tara and I shared, as well as the licensure. You'll see that in the handout that you have. Just so you know, we're going to support them. We will give them test prep. We will meet with them. We will see what they're worried about, and we will try to support them every step of the way. They'll have check-ins so that they'll be able to feel supported and get that certification sooner rather than later. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I think this is definitely a move that we need to make to ensure that we are providing faith for our students, our littlest, our youngest learners.
From looking at the milestones, I mean, I think honestly, the more our staff is developed, the better, right? And so this is exciting to see that we're providing, scaffolding to develop this team. Looking at the milestones, May 1st, providing evidence of licensure, is the expectation that the whole staff has completed and passed and they have the certification, or if someone doesn't pass, do they get another go? Again, I'm imagining some of the anxiety that you're getting from the staff is well, what happens if I don't complete it, right? There's all these scaffolds, but what if I bomb the test, can I do it a second, right? And so what do you imagine is if you don't hit that milestone, or I don't know, have you thought through some of that?
So, thank you. It's a little vague purposely,
Yeah.
because we really don't know where they're going. They haven't mandated yet for
Yep.
preschool that teachers must have a special education licensure. So we thought, again, get out ahead of it, let them know. So this is written in a supportive way. I'm not going to say at this point, it will be up to the superintendent, assistant superintendent, to tell us at that point what we're going to do. It may be that, you know, a teacher has a licensure and we have an open position. Like, there's all kinds of things that we can do so nobody loses their job. I mean, we'll make sure that we provide the training, support, and this timeline may get firmed up. There may be some you musts, but right now, we're just kind of coming at it from a coaching perspective.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I see the July 19th. Has there been any response from the bargaining unit about this?
No, I didn't talk to the union. I had the teachers come in and we just had a lunch, and I said, I just want you to know what's coming. And they were very open. They were appreciative of, you know, sharing it early. So no, I haven't had any conversations with the union.
I have. So they are still, would be covered under the collective bargaining agreement. Most of their licensure is early childhood, so they are covered from preschool, most of them, I believe, preschool to grade 2. So if something did happen, if the state did mandate this in December, they would still be covered and protected. So they would, based on seniority, go into another position in the district. That would be covered under their license.
Thank you.
I think it's important to note also that our DESE contact has strongly suggested that when we have students with disabilities in our preschool programs, they should be educated by special educators. We have that in writing, and I've had conversations with them, along with Jessica Rakup. She's been instrumental in helping to get the language around this. So those students deserve to have that level, and we owe it to the preschool teachers to support them. And it's like individualized. It's like when we look at a student, we individualize what that student needs. So I imagine that the both of us working with the preschool staff, it would be the same.
Are there any staff right now that have this particular certification in preschool?
We have staff that have the special education licensure and that are in preschool.
Okay.
But it's not enough for the amount of students that we have, the students with disabilities we have, because the law states we have to have one more student, non-disabled peer with their peers. So we have 15, a ratio of 15 right now, so we would have 8 typical and 7 students with disabilities. That's the maximum we could do.
Okay. So you would like to get all of the preschool teachers to have this then?
With the amount of students with disabilities we have, we have to have that.
Okay. Joyce, did you have something?
So how many individuals would fall into this? Who need it?
4 teachers.
4? Thank you.
I appreciate.
One's already certified.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it affects 3. Thank you.
And one of them is finishing now.
Oh, good.
I appreciate proactivity. I also appreciate addressing the concerns. And I think also from the administrative standpoint, and the concerns that we were already hearing from the staff, being proactive seems like we're listening to the staff. Not seems like, we are listening to the staff, let me be clear. Listening to the staff and their feedback and taking that into account as we move forward. So I do appreciate that very much. And then in the event that this does happen, and once there's more information, because we all know a lot of information goes out initially, but there's still a lot of shaping and context that's not there. But once we get the detailed information, could we have you all back just to get more context around these guidelines? So that would be great. And, you know. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Okay, and on to superintendent negotiations. That's me. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I am very, very happy to say that we have closed superintendent negotiations with Dr. Runda. That we have extended his contracts. We have signed the contract. And we are looking forward to the plans and steps moving forward. And Adam, I'm gonna move it on over to you, because that's pretty much all I have. It's just, we did it, yay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just want to share, I'm absolutely thrilled to be extended. I want to stay here. I didn't want to spend any of this year looking for a new place to call home. it's this, I'm going in my third year. This definitely feels like home. We definitely feel like a very cohesive admin team. I think we're moving in the right direction, and I wanted to thank the school committee for making that very quick and very painless. I appreciate it, and I look forward to hopefully staying in this community even beyond this contract. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to switch it on over to you for the superintendent's report.
Okay. So we have some basic updates. We will welcome back our students in grades 1 through 12 on Wednesday, August 30th. Our kindergarten students will join us for their first day on Tuesday, September 5th, and preschool students will start on Monday, September 11th. We will have new teacher orientation led by our assistant superintendent, Mr. Cleary, on Wednesday, August 23rd, and Thursday, August 24th. You are all welcome to come during our introduction period, which I believe is from 8 to 8:30 on the 23rd?
8:30 to 9.
8:30 to 9. All the administrators in the district will be there to meet the new teachers, and we want to extend that invitation to school committee as well if you would like to attend. Our high school student orientation will be held on Thursday, August 24th from 10 to 12 at the high school. And we will welcome back all staff into their building Monday, August 28th. We kind of flipped it this year. Convocation will be on the Tuesday, the 29th at the high school. And once again, you are all invited and welcome to come to convocation. And Madam Chair, if you'd like to say a few words, we always extend that offer. Just let us know and we'll get you on that agenda. We had our leadership retreat last week, August 8th and Wednesday, August 9th. So a little bit different focus this year. We have been doing a lot of, there's been a lot of district initiatives these first 2 years with equity and co-teaching. We're starting a new elementary and middle school literacy program that we wanted to focus a little bit on our leadership development, especially because there are 3 new leaders joining us. So we are focusing to some degree on leadership development this year. We're going to use Brene Brown's book, Dare to Lead, as our anchor text for this and to help build collaboration. And, the word of the day for the leadership retreat was vulnerability, which is sometimes very difficult to do as a principal or assistant principal or superintendent, assistant superintendent, or finance director. So it went over well. There hasn't been a ton of leadership development these past 2 years, so it seemed everyone was embraced their vulnerability and participated. We got very, very good feedback on it. One of the other things that we're going to do is try to offer all of our leaders what's a low-hanging fruit leadership topic at every DLT meeting, or at least one of those a month. One of the things, or what we focused on on retreat as that low-hanging fruit, is our nonverbal communication. What are we saying to our collaborators when we don't know we're saying it, right? So parents, students, teachers, other staff will come to us to ask questions, to make a complaint, to clarify, to make suggestions, and how we approach that will really tell them whether or not they should come to us for these things in the future. And oftentimes, what we're projecting is different than the words coming out of our mouth. So we are trying to move that from the subconscious to the conscious so that our words and our nonverbal communication are in sync, and that people feel comfortable to come to us and share and collaborate with us, because we know that's how we're going to get better. It seems like it's going to be a popular topic with the leadership team. I'm really looking forward to doing this, because it has not been, it's one of the things that I like to do the most, and it's something that I had done in my prior district that we haven't done a lot here. So it was well received, and we're looking forward to it. The other topic really for the leadership retreat was trying to get people to try to form a common philosophy around evaluations. So that was really day 2. We will be working on that all year, as well as doing some calibrating, which I know Charlie is ready to move on.
In terms of evaluation of staff?
Yes.
Student,
yes, staff evaluation. We're a little, not all over the place, but there should be, at least in the same building, it shouldn't be completely different if the principal or assistant principal is doing that evaluation, right? So there should be some consistency in what are we doing to actually support the educator in improving, and not just using this as an evaluation tool. This is a tool for improvement. And that's how it was designed by the state, but it's so cumbersome that if we don't talk about how to do it and what's overwhelming for you and what's overwhelming for the educator, how are you going to improve? I mean, if you have a brand new teacher, you could very easily give somebody 10 or 15 needs improvements, right? You can't, especially a brand new teacher, you can't focus on 15 needs improvements. You can focus on 2 or 3. So you pick, we need to prioritize what's the most important, what's going to have the biggest impact on students, work with that educator to improve on those, right? And then the next evaluation, we will go in, and if there are more, we will find those. But if you improve on 2 or 3 of the power standards, so to speak, they're going to improve their practice throughout all of those standards, right? So that's where we're trying to get to. We don't have anyone right now who I believe would give anybody 10 or 15 needs improvements. That was just, I was exaggerating to kind of make a point.
Yeah.
But it was really good conversation, and we're getting close to having that kind of common type of philosophy moving forward. Mm-hmm. And really to use it as a tool for improvement. And besides the evaluation system, the other lever is the really informal walkthroughs that we do. And if we're seeing it during a walkthrough, we should be giving feedback at that time before it gets to a very formal evaluation, right? Let's not wait. Let's make it more informal and supportive than having to mark someone needs improvement or unsatisfactory on a very formal evaluation, which, not just teachers, anyone who gets evaluated takes that hard, especially if it's the first time they're hearing that. So we're trying to get the feedback cycle to be part of our everyday culture. And as many of you know, that's not an easy thing to do in any field. It's especially difficult in education, where we tend to play nice a little too much, right? So we can do this without being critical or upset. We can do this in a supportive way. So that's where we're trying to go.
Super helpful.
Yeah. And I would like to just take an opportunity to thank the custodial staff. They once again have been working extremely hard this summer in all of the buildings. The custodians at Page Hilltop have had to deal with power up and extended school year, which has really messed with their schedule about when they can get into certain parts of the building and get that done. But it seems like we're on track, and they've worked extremely hard, and we are appreciative. And that is it for the superintendent's report.
Awesome.
Are there any questions?
Any questions, anybody? No? All right. So we're going to let the good times roll and go on to our ongoing business. An update on the high school gym from Mr. Plunkett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are going out to bid for the demolition of the wall panel system on the gymnasium, on the high school gymnasium, and the reframing of that wall section. Bids go out on Friday, the 18th. They're available on our website and also through the business office, and we're posting on the central register for the state, so we'll have lots of vendors that'll be able to take a look at it and hopefully bid on it. Bids will be due 2 weeks from then. It'll be September 1st. We'll be opening the bids at 10 a.m. on Friday, September 1st. It's sealed bids. Our estimate is $250,000 for this project. So we'll need to talk about funding if we're going to use capital stabilization or we're going to borrow. We could do short-term borrowing, but we can have that conversation once we see what the bids come in at, because we really don't know if that's a good estimate now. But we'll be reframing that whole upper wall section around all 4 walls, and windows there'll be 7 windows on 2 of the walls. So there will still be natural light coming in. It just won't be all those panels, that panel system that we have there now. So it'll be a little bit more traditional, a little less ambient light, but the windows will be glazed. The 7 big, I think 4 by 11 or 8 by 11 windows on 2 sides, so should let in a good amount of light.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, is the framing and the window system already spec'd out for the bid?
The framing for the panels?
Yeah,
To replace it with panels?
The framing detail and the window specifications, is it already?
We have the detailed drawing.
Right.
Or it's going to be included with the bid package.
Good.
So they'll see what they're dealing with.
Yeah,
You
they'll
get
be
all,
able to turn that around very quickly then. They won't have to engineer it, and you'll be able to take a look at the bill. Excellent.
and we're hoping that we could get it finished by basketball season.
Right.
Which is right around Thanksgiving. So hopefully the weather will hold out for us.
There you go.
You know, if we are still waiting to hear about our statement of interest on Page Hilltop, but if Page Hilltop ends up, for some reason, being a renovation, if we're lucky enough to be invited into the planning stage, I think this will be a good reminder to that building committee that if we would have had this done, originally the state would have paid 70% of this.
Not quite.
We ended up almost at 70.
Yeah,
right?
so, but a good chunk of it. So it's you know, sometimes saving some money on a gym ends up costing us, you know, in the future. So I think it's a good lesson to remind people. I'm sorry?
It is a few years later.
It is.
This wasn't last year.
I know, but you have to, you know, I gotta put that out there, you know?
There was a reason for that decision,
I know,
right,
yeah,
Mr.
this was a massive project, and it's a beautiful building. But if we can get the state to pay 60 or 70% of it, let's try to do that.
Anything else, anyone? Okay, so I will go on to the next item. So school committee operations, we're gonna, and you guys can read off the agenda. So the first thing for me is going to be the school committee operations that we have is mainly focusing on our, I call it statement of operations in my industry. So what we want to do is have a statement of operations when it comes to communication and how we operate as a school committee. So I have a document, I was going to release it, but then Kevin informed us that he wasn't going to be here, so it's something that we would be able to discuss and vote on. So I figure the next school committee meeting, we'll do that. The reason for that statement of operations, and not only does it help us, and any, you know, new comer to the district, but it also assists parents. Anyone that may be interested in coming to the school committee meetings will then understand better how we operate. So that's the purpose of the document. It is recommended by MASC. So I did want to make sure that we had that protocol document, if you will. As far as the website, so I think it was maybe 2 or 3 meetings ago that I was talking about, oh, you know, maybe we should all submit different, you know, pictures, and I had that idea, and then after talking to quite a few of you, you all reminded me that, you know, our powers and our unity. So it is really important that, you know, we do have a group photo and focus more on our unity. So what I will do is, well, actually, I can ask now because we're having school committee. So what I was thinking is, we all know September is really, you know, it's a lot. So I was thinking maybe around October, the first school committee meeting that we have in October, we could have our picture done probably right before we have school committee, so that way we can get it posted on the website.
Just what we've done traditionally.
Yes. Yeah, so I do want to get back to that because I know we have an old photo and old information, and I want us to be up to date and acknowledge our new member, of course. So the next item regarding the website is we have changed it so that whenever someone emails, instead of individual email, it goes to the school committee at large, almost like a distribution group on the email, so that way we'll all have it. As we discussed, I will respond back if we get any kind of email to acknowledge the receipt of the email. But at least this way, we're continuing with that, you know, power in numbers or power as one. And that really is the focus of essentially that topic and that item. So does anybody have any questions or comments or suggestions in that?
Just thank you for doing that. I think it's really great. I think it'll be really important to kind of have like a protocol that we're all following, so we all know what's going on. So thank you for, I'm sure that was a lot of work for you to put together, so thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Absolutely, yeah.
Anybody else? I don't want to butt in.
No.
So a statement of operations has to become a policy, right?
So I'm saying it's like a statement of operations. Really what it is, according to MASC, is they call it a protocol document. That's why I had...
But it doesn't become a policy?
It does not become a policy.
Okay.
And what I'll do is, after this meeting, I will send Michelle the documentation from MASC, because there's guidelines centering around it, and it even has some examples in it of different ways that schools have addressed it, so that way you can see how I'm kind of creating the fabric, and then maybe there might be additional points that you all want to kind of put in there, but at least that way ahead of time, you'll know what the documentation suggestions are. So I can do that. Let me just write it down.
So a statement of operations differs from rights and duties.
Correct.
In what way?
So it's not rights and duties. What we're talking about is how we as a school committee operate. And so we're documenting that for the public, for our staff, for everyone. What is the communication protocol? I mean, it's a very basic document.
Yeah, right.
But again,
I thought it was in policies already, that's why I'm
I see what
linking.
you're saying. Yeah, because I went and I reviewed our policies to make sure, but then when I looked at the full guidelines
Yeah.
and information that MASC sent out, that's when I realized it was not a policy.
But it certainly would entrench it if you made it a policy, because otherwise it kind of keeps people from walking through
I see what you're
the
saying.
walls.
Okay.
You know, I mean, to make a policy doesn't seem like a big deal, and it's all incorporated in the book, and it's like, a lot of it's law.
That's true.
Much of it's law. So, interesting. Okay. Sounds good.
Sure, absolutely. So I'll send it, that way we can have better context, because I know you guys are listening through me. So it'll be easier once you read. I'm going to move on to our next topic, which is our Thrive Act for the MCAS resolution. Jim was kind enough to write out a resolution for us, and he submitted it before the summer was out. And the last school committee meeting we had, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe we all had approved or agreed with the document. We didn't have any changes, which is why I thought we could move forward with the vote on that. Does anybody have any kind of discussion or anything?
The letter looks great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Looks good, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen. So, anyone make a motion?
What are we voting on? Sorry.
That's okay.
Because we already submitted
Because we already voted on it.
We didn't vote on it, we just
Okay.
agreed, yeah.
Okay, so.
So what did we sign?
We signed the letter that Jim wrote, so I would make a motion that we approve
I know.
the
Thrive Act.
like
MCAS
Thrive
resolution.
Act recommendation resolution presented to Representative Cena and Senator Cronin, as included in your packets.
And a second from Ashley?
Get all the way through that, Ashley.
That's okay. We're gonna get through it, guys.
It's been a while, we're figuring it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of new blood, including me. Okay, so,
Did we vote?
yes. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And those not, and abstain. All right, we're good to go. My turn. Okay.
When we send that out, we should probably send a comment to Dr. Pataky.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
So do we need to sign something new, because that was all signed?
I was just thinking that, so I will review the rules, and I can also double check with Michelle.
It wouldn't hurt to have
Right.
have us all come in and sign it. I
Right.
mean, that looks good. you know?
Absolutely.
And then it's a real positive vote, particularly something like this.
Exactly. So.
Most things,
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
if you do go back to review or have to rewrite, re-sign, whatnot, I might propose that we remove the hyphens in Aaron Shirley that are in the bottom paragraph and in the signature document.
Okay.
And in the top line.
Okay.
If we do it. If not, we will
no,
survive.
it's,
We're going to do it.
we're going to do it.
If
You're
we
right.
do it.
It might be, Jim. I was like, usually that's your call.
All right. Jim is still on vacation. We haven't started
Taking the place
yet.
of Jim Cleveland.
Okay, and then the final section that we have for ongoing business, I actually was going to have Kevin do the update on the fields, because as we were trying to pare down, there were a couple of items that were still needed. So I am going to push that to our next agenda to address then. As far as chairperson's notes are concerned, one, I want to review from the last meeting. So I had proposed just having a summer meeting. The main reason why we were having the summer meeting was because I was not sure if we were going to have to address the Fields project a little bit sooner, and then also we were looking at contracts. However, things have kind of pushed back, and we're waiting for one last group to ratify, just because of vacations in summer. There's no issues centering around that. So that's why we ended up not having that meeting. Moving forward, we are looking forward, or at least I am, and I'm sure they are. Everyone's looking forward to the new school year, the collaboration. I think one of the things that I heard a lot tonight that excites me is I heard a lot of support, and I heard a lot of proactive. And that's good. And support centering around staff, right? So that's exciting. And we as a school committee in smaller groups appropriate to the law have all been discussing how much we're looking forward to supporting not only the administration but the staff. And we try our best to communicate that, but we all are looking to make sure that we act it out a little bit more this year in different various ways of supporting. We do have our goal of trying to interact with our community more, and that's not just staff and parents, that's not just students and parents, it's also including staff, and making sure that they do feel supported in the appropriate manner we can. And that's another reason why I do want to have the document, so that people can understand the context of our role. We're always willing to listen, we're always willing to help, but there's a proper way to do that. So we want to make sure that we're all coming together and operating well. So that was it for my chairperson's notes. Do we have any other topics for discussion not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance of this meeting? Anyone?
We do not.
No? All right. I'm gonna do it. It's 48 o'clock. Sorry, guys, I'm pretty excited about that. Communications, I'm sorry, I think I'm missing my communications. Would you be able to read it?
I can read it. Announcements for August 16th, 2023. Wednesday, August 30th is the first day of school for grades 1 through 12. Thursday, August 31st, kindergarten orientation. Friday, September 1st, no school for grades 1 through 12. Monday, September 4th, no school in observance of Labor Day. It's been a long day. Tuesday, September 5th, first day of school for kindergarten students. Friday, September 8th is preschool orientation. And Monday, September 11th, first day of school for preschool students.
All right, we do not, sorry.
I guess one thing, I believe the September 24th is Overwood Trail Run. A big fundraiser for Base Up. And if you get a chance, we haven't been able to pull it off yet. I think we're early enough now. We had talked to Mr. Kendall, and it was always too late to get anything started. For years, we talked about maybe setting a friendly cross-country race on that date, because the course is all ready, it's staffed, it's ready to roll, and it would be great to face off mean, my personal opinion would be to take on like Groton Dunstable, because both Aaron and Shirley rope off from Groton. So I think that would be just like a natural thing. And in the springtime, they have a 5-mile race there, so it could be a back and forth thing. And, you know, cross-country runners don't usually get to have anybody ever watch them do anything. And this would be, I think, a lot of fun for the runners and a lot of fun for the people that are there. So if, even if it's not Groton Dunstable, if we could set up either a league meet or a friendly against any other school, perhaps Fitchburg. You know, we can roll with that.
I'm writing to Mr. Kendall right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
But does it matter because it's a Sunday? Isn't that a different, put a wrinkle into it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think there's anything saying we can't have meets on
No,
Sunday.
but I mean, it's Sunday morning,
Yeah.
theoretically. You might get some backlash.
You could, but that's probably a reason to have it be a friendly. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Right. Well, I mean, football
See what
happens Sunday
Yeah, when's the
mornings too,
first
so we'll
football
make
game? Let's
it.
get serious here.
All right.
I'll have that for you at the next meeting.
So much for that, Jim, and I
No, it's after
appreciate
the
that,
next
Adam.
meeting.
Okay, so I will entertain.
I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:30.
I would second that motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
I would,
Aye. Oh, sorry.
I'd like to make 7:28 to get you in under an hour. So
Thank you.
For the record, so I think that's an important one to have.
Okay, do we have a second? Gentlemen?
Seconded.
All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, guys, all done.